So this is something I do quite a lot. Just splash the hi-hat. In a lot of ways, it creates air in your playing. If I'm just playing, say, that kind of thing, that can sometimes come across a bit dry, that sort of thing. So sometimes what I do is put the hi-hat in. Seems I'm in a piece now. Do you see, I could keep on going with that, but I won't for the sake of the lesson. You see, what happens is with that, it just gives a little bit of definition, but it also gives a little bit of top end, air, if you like. And all that. But it does depend on taste and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes that could be a hindrance. But one of the things about, I was talking about Bonham before the break, so I'll come back to this kind of definition. Now let me just recap just a little bit here, in the sense that if you're playing a washy cymbal, it's a beautiful cymbal. Sometimes the band needs a bit more definition, so if you can add the hi-hat, there it is. Lick of the century. Now, Bonham also used to always have his little hi-hat tambourine there as well for that. So I'm sure he was giving a lot of air to his pieces as well. Now, one of the things that Ian Pace did out of Deep Purple with his solos is he would have that going as well. So snare drum solo. And there's, what was that lick out of Made in Japan? Started to double up. So that's another thing that you can do. So it's all about hi-hat tonight, but being the catalyst for many, many other things, you see. Now, one of the little loose theories that I have with the hi-hat is that you have your normal open hi-hat. So when you're playing, but when you're doing things, I might take that off now. But when you're actually doing things like an ostinato pattern, where you might have a Latin bass drum, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3. What will happen is what I just generally term a naturally occurring hi-hat, where because if you're just playing even quavers, you can't not play an open hi-hat. You see, so if you're playing any kind of 2 and 4 there, you know, that will lend itself to a naturally occurring hi-hat. So one of the things when you go back to, say, just quavers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it snares off of this. And then put your hi-hat, of course with this, the hi-hat is working with the right hand, so left foot with the right hand. Every time you put your left hand to the hi-hat, there it is there. You see, you've got an instant open hi-hat. Now, during the 70s, Gone Bonham, Ian Pace, people like that, I mentioned Earl Palmer, all of these different people. One of the trailblazers of 70s funk and all this sort of business was firstly Bill Cobham. I always mention him first. He came first through Horace Silver, Miles Davis, then into the Mahavishnu Orchestra. Brilliant, powerful drummer sort of thing. Very happy to know him as a man as well sort of thing. He's backed up my books and I had the great pleasure of spending some time with him in the late 90s when he came out to Australia. Brilliant man. And but who I'm really talking about is the main trailblazer after him, Steve Gadd, in the fusion kind of area here, because one of the things that he did, quite a simple thing if you want to think about it, in the sense that you would play a rock beat, turn it into a two-handed thing, right, left, left. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right. Then you put your hi-hat down on with the right hand. So on it goes like that. So what goes on is Steve Gadd was the first chap that I started to hear doing a lot of what we now call two-handed writing, where you might just take a 16th note like that, and then you just simply put one hand across to the ride cymbal, right? So on it goes like that. One of of the interesting things from that is that actually gets predated a little bit because I spent the last couple of episodes making sure that I've been mentioning Bernard Purdie, the great drummer there. And one of the things about 16th note playing is that even before then, you started to hear Bernard Purdie just essentially do a 16th note pattern like that, but then put his left hand to the snare drum. So you get... I don't think you did that much with it, but anyway, there's that kind of stuff there. So, there's just a little something with almost second line rhythm with a 3/2 clave there. So a little bit more after the break, I suppose. Hi-hat, all the different things it can give you. I'm doing a little bit of funk, a bit of Bonham, a bit of Purdie, all of this sort of stuff. But really the catalyst of tonight, it's centered in on the hi-hat and how important that thing is. Okay, this thing here.